Welcome back to LJ's Comic Burrow. My name is Jay. I am the host of the show. And yeah, I had a little spiel planned out. I was going to kind of go a little bit into why my life has been a little hectic here at the Burrow um, with a few of my rescues and some of the bad health that's been going on around here. And unfortunately, as I was finishing up reading a few of the last few books here, and taking some notes, be able to do this show. Uh, I got a message that the comic book community has lost an amazing man, and not just an amazing man, a great friend. Um, his name was William Waugh. He was the co-owner of the comic book store that I belong to, which is Comics Connection down here in York. Um, Personally, I want to send my condolences out to his friends, his family, and his employees. I, um, there's not too many times that I am actually speechless about some things, but I do want to say I will miss you, Will, and I hope one day to see you again. So, thank you so much for all that you did for me. Thank you for always looking out for me. He was, I know when my dad passed away, he reached out to make sure I was okay, which was, you know, which was awesome. He wanted to make sure I was laughing and my mind was off of things. And one of his things that every time I would come into a store and we would be talking, and dear God, I've got a dirty mouth at times. He, I was always kind of respectful to make sure I didn't really talk like that around his around his clientele, and he would always look at me and say, "Shut the fuck up, Jay. Uh, watch your fucking mouth." And yeah, I'd always get a little laugh about that and chuckle. So, thank you, Will. Thank you for always making me laugh. I know sometimes it's hard to move on from that, but let's get down to business. If you like what you're watching, if you like what you're seeing, dear God, if you like the words coming out of this mouth, please like, please subscribe, please share, please leave a comment. Because the best thing about doing a show like this is be able to have that conversation with those with like interest, like myself. And dear God, if you're a new viewer, welcome to Happy New Comic Book Day. I'm a little late, unfortunately. Like I said, life does happen. Even when you're thinking it's slowing down, it changes courses on you real quick. So, if you're a new viewer, please subscribe, and please tell your friends if you like what you're seeing here. All right, let's go over some of the few books there that I picked up. If you're a new viewer, I usually pick up my books every 2 weeks, which means I'm usually a week behind by the time you actually get to see this. I've got some really cool books here. The first two books are actually not mine. They're my wife's books. The first one here was written by Tom King. It is Animal Pound, issue number 2. I'll be honest with you, I know nothing about this book other than my wife really loves this series. So, yeah, I really don't know too much about that book. It was just a nice little book to show off. I will say this, I do know something about this, and Benjamin Percy is an amazing writer. He has done a fantastic job on Wolverine. So let me show you Sabretooth War, Part 4, Issue 44 of Wolverine. probably the best writer that's ever done Wolverine. If you love the blood and guts, you love the war, and if you love a great story, this is a series definitely for you. So if you haven't picked up on it yet, please pick up some back issues. Please pick up some story arcs. Please pick up some trade paperbacks. You will not regret. If you love Wolverine, this is the series that you will love to get into. Benjamin Percy. Now, let's show off some of the books that I actually did read. I love a little horror. I love sometimes reading about the weird stuff. And so showing this next book off here is definitely a pleasure. This is Prince and Morazzo, Ice Cream Man, issue number 38. And the life of a clone of Gary. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary. Dear God, that's scary. That's scary. They're all Gary. Well, except for that guy. That's Ice Cream Man. But if you got a different way of thinking of things, because if you take it for face value, yes, it's many clones of Gary here in the life of. But when I read it, I personally took it as somebody who had multiple personality disorders. And he was just basically trying to figure out how to quiet the voices in his head. And that's the way I actually took this issue. You can take it either way. But any way you take it, this is a great story and a great series. And I've been trying to tell and sell this series from the very beginning. I absolutely love Ice Cream Man. So, if you love the weird, this is the book for you. All right. Now, I stopped this series. I did. The next series, I dropped it like a bad habit. After the original writer / creator of this series walked away, and he does every so many issues, he will just walk away and leave somebody else to write, because one, he's got so many different things on his plate, and this series feels like will never ever go away. So he does take breaks from writing. He doesn't feel he's the best writer, but dear God, I know he's the best writer for this series. So, when they came up to the record-breaking 350th issue, I decided to pick up 349, 350, and 351. So, this is issue 350, the Todd McFarlane cover of Spawn. This is the color version of it. I mean, he's the original creator. There's no one going to do Spawn better than Todd McFarlane's. And I mean, there's always going to be different people that put a different spins on it, which makes it a great artwork. But dear God, Todd does an amazing job drawing this character. And here's the black and white cover. Should say black and white version cover of that same issue. Now, as I said, there's a lot of things going on here, and that's besides what ended up happening tonight. That I unfortunately, and I didn't mention it because I actually wanted it in my hands before I could even bring it up and show it off. I actually was the next guy up to get Spawn 350, thank you. And yeah, I had to grow up a little bit, and I had to make adult decisions, and spending $250 on a book right now was just not the adult thing to do. So I passed it on to the next guy, and eventually I will get one of those Todd McFarlane thank yous. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty okay with not getting it anyway. I really didn't care for the cover. I wish he would have did something a little different. But it's Todd. It's his character. He do whatever the hell he wants. And I hope the guy that does get this book absolutely enjoys it. All right, the next issue. I've been talking to you guys about this series since it started, which was issue 3 issues ago. So I'm going to show this book off. I'm going to try selling it. And dear God, I'm hoping somebody listens to me and goes, yeah, you need to get this. This is Avengers Twilight issue number 3. Alex Ross cover. This is Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna. And Daniel Acuna is the artist inside. This is a great book. I absolutely love it. This is a great story. It basically, it's Cap versus Stark Jr., a classic battle. It's something that you really haven't seen Cap really get into since Civil War, where he's fighting, Iron Man. This is a great series. I can say nothing bad about this series. The writing, nothing. The artwork, it's all fantastic. It speaks for itself. This is issue 3 out of 5. Please, there is copies out there. Please go get them. You will not regret getting this story. It's absolutely beautiful. The story of Old Man Cap. Now, if you actually have watched my series or watched this show before, I will sing praises of Chip Zdarsky up, down, left, right, all around on a merry-go-round. I believe he is such a talented writer. Until I read this, and I'm a huge fan. I stuck up for him. I've dear God, I've kissed ass. I've told people this that he's doing an amazing job. And then I read this series, or read this issue. This is Joker Year 1, Part 3, Batman 144. If you're going back and forth in a storyline so frequently, like so many times throughout the story, and I'm talking about almost every other page, you're going to the future, at present time, back to the past, you're going to lose people, and I absolutely believe that's what he did, and I understand what the critics are saying after reading this issue. You get lost in the translation. Everything gets lost. So I hate bitching without sitting here at least giving an idea how to fix things. Personally, I would have left this Joker storyline alone, right? Chip, you've got one main villain that you've been working with since you started this series, and that's Failsafe. That's a great villain. It really is. The villain is a villain created by Batman to keep him in check, to take him out if he goes too far. That is a great story. And it sells itself. And so far, what I would do is, it's a robot. It's artificial intelligence. So each time it fights Batman and interacts with Batman, it should be growing. It should be becoming more knowledgeable about the person it's fighting. It should be collecting data. And that's where I see this character going. That each time it fights, it's getting better, to the point where at this point in time it's fighting defensively. So it's reacting to every action that Batman's doing. It's reacting to every action that Batman's doing. So here you go. This is where you get that story. All right. Now, let Failsafe start acting offensively. Let him start making moves and taking and being diabolical and getting ahead of Batman. Making Batman think twice about the decisions he's making and how to deal with Failsafe, to the point that now you got to bring in the Justice League to help you out. not just Nightwing and all them. Let's leave them guys alone. But let's bring in the Justice League. So, I always say every character is taken off of another character, which is taken off another character. Everybody borrows from everybody in the comic book world. So, why don't we do this? Why don't we have fail-safes start creating fail-safes for every member of the Justice League? So now you're not just getting like you're not just doing what Ultron would do, which would be create hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of robots. You've got one failsafe for every Justice League character, and every time failsafe sits there and basically fights the Justice League, he updates his updates the robots and gets them to be smarter. So now each one of those failsafes can actually deal with the Justice League. I think it would be a great crossover. I think it would be a great storyline. It's got to be better than what's being sold at this year one of Joker. So, Chip, if you get ever taken any advice from some crazy guy out here in York, Pennsylvania, this is the advice that you'd want to take. Really, really make that failsafe character not just a standard key or a new introduction. Make him a golden standard. Make him the next major villain in the DC universe. And doing something like that, or to the point where the Justice League is being not overrun, because that would mean there's so many fail-safes, but not able to handle the fail-safes that were created to take them down. I think that would be a perfect storyline. But who am I? I'm just some like crazy guy here from York, Pennsylvania. So whatever. But either way, I think that would be the perfect way to really cement this villain in the DCU. Just whatever. Okay. Now back to, original programming here. The next book I absolutely love. Dan Slott, you continue to really impress me with the writing that you're doing here for this character. I think Medina, you've done an amazing job with the artwork inside. I absolutely have been enjoying this fun character. Nothing is really taken serious. It's just Spider-Boy. So you're kind of just going, dear God, what stupid things is he going to do in this issue? So personally, this is like a step up, pretty much like a Spider-Ham. You're just rooting for him just because he's about to make a bad decision. I absolutely love this series. This is Spider-Boy issue 4. Like I said, I love it. And is a small key. Is the first appearance of Boy Spider, which you'll see somewhere. It could be that guy. You never know. But either way, this is one of those series. Dan Slott, thank you so much for creating this character. And please, if you're not picking this up at your local comic book store, this is definitely a miss for you. All right. This next series, I've been singing the praises of Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's done a phenomenal job. Danny Earls actually makes a special guest artist appearance basically in this issue. He does a fantastic job taking over for the artwork. This is Incredible Hulk issue 9. And that's the old lady that you have to beware of. She is stealing people's souls and ripping people apart for being a bad person. This is a great... This really does bring it back to the point of Hulk versus every monster out there. Let's tell the story how he got there. I love this series. If you guys did watch my old episodes, you will hear me talk shit about Philip Kennedy Johnson with that Alien series. But dear God, does everything right so far in this series. Incredible Hulk, issue number 9. All right. The next book is brought to you by Al Ewing, a fantastic writer. This is Martin Coccolo. Does the artwork. Um, God, nobody does space stories like Al Ewing right now for Marvel. He really does do an amazing job with space characters. So after reading this Immortal Thor issue number 7, he continues to hit home run after home run. I absolutely love this. This is basically the two brothers are still stuck in a story. They have a trial contest to be able to help them move forward in the story, and it's great because Thor does a drinking contest. Loki does an eating contest. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Pretty lighthearted, but it's a great story. I can't think of anything bad to literally say about this. It's Al Ewing, for Christ's sakes. Absolutely love his work. Another one of those modern day writers who really came into their own after a few possibly failed projects. Al Ewing has done awesome. All right. For those who has been following Groupfall, this is Guardians of the Galaxy issue 1 by Colin Carey and Jackson Lansing. Yeah, Lansing. Eventually, it was going to come to an end, everybody, and I think, because I've actually looked around to see if there's any more Guardians of the Galaxy coming up in the near future. At this point in time, I haven't seen anything. I could be wrong, but it's not definitely one of those books I want to call my local comic book store and say, yeah, do you know if it, yeah, it is what it is. If you like it, you like it. You don't. But this is one of those books that really make you believe, everything should be followed by the movie. They do an awesome job. Guardians of the Galaxy Annual, issue number 1. Okay. I only have one more book that I read to show you. I kind of got a little lost. It's in the middle, but by the end, everything seemed to make perfect sense. It's Seaspirator writing issue number 6 of The Flash. I absolutely do love that cover. Yeah, this is another great series. Some people sat there and definitely they have their opinions. Some people just shat on it and said this series sucks because it changes so many things having to do with Wally West and other Flash comic books. But personally, I just decided to get them and start collecting in this series. And to me, I have no complaints. This is a great series. All right. Well, now the last 3 books I got for art and art alone. There's when I got this, I was pretty thrilled. This is Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 1, and it's a foil. Look at it shine. I absolutely love this cover. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, beautiful artwork. Like I said, I do love the foils. I love them so much. I saw this coming up and grabbed it too. This is What If issue number 1, Venom. Now, if I had the money and Todd was coming to Baltimore, this motherfucker would get signed. He signs anything Venom. This would definitely be one of those. All right. And now my last book. This is volume number 2, Spider-Punk issue number 1. Yeah. I love the huge. Yeah, look at that. This is so cool. Awesome. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Welcome, all new viewers to LJ's Comic Burrow. And if you like what you're watching, you like what you're seeing, and you like the words coming out of my mouth, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment, and please share. Love to be able to get up to 100 subscribers in my 365th day. I would love to be able to at least surpass that. If not, I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love the little family clique that I got going on here at this show. And to me, that'd be just fine and dandy, I will say. So, my family, your family, please make sure you tell the ones that you love them all the time, and let them know that you'll always be there for them. Hopefully next week I'll be able to go over everything that's pretty much going on now. That's pretty much making my life hectic. Other than that, I hope to see you all guys soon for my next episode. It will be more of a Batman episode from all the books that I've been picking up. I love you all, and have a great night.